After being down 29 points in the first half, the Oklahoma City Thunder made a historic comeback led by the backs of Chet Holmgren and Alex Caruso. Chet Holmgren only scored 1 point in the first half, struggling to get his shot off, struggling to make an impact on either end, and in the second half he probably had his best half of his young playoff career. After taking over the game in Game 2, Alex Caruso came back again and had one of the greatest defensive stretches by a guard ever. To start the second half, Memphis is caught in some matchup zone, where Chet simply comes up and Hartenstein sets the screen to a point where Jaren Jackson and Edey, both pinned in the paint, can't recover. Chet at this point is shooting 50% of these three-pointers, and the volume has been really encouraging. Now that Chet's made one three-pointer, they go to a Chet pick and pop. Chet pops here, and you can see Jaren Jackson trying to stunt to pick and roll, but he really hesitates because he doesn't want to leave Chet wide open, which basically takes him out to play in essentiality. Now Edey's forced to play up, and Hartenstein gets a wide open floater. Defensively, Chet's always there. Dort here gets beaten on a screen, leaving a lot of space for Scottie Pippen in the middle of the floor, and Chet, sinking deep, is still able to get a contest and force Scottie Pippen to airball a floater. Because Chet is hitting 3-pointers this series, teams are respecting his shot. Chet sets the screen for Shea, and Shea gets a one-on-one look because Scottie Pippen is just lingering around on Chet to make sure he doesn't get a shot up. The exact play right after this, Dort gets beaten on a closeout, and Chet's right there to deter Kennard from the rim. They do a bunch of swing passes, forces Edey inside. Edey loses the ball, and a wide open layup just became a turnover for the Memphis Grizzlies. This plays a bit of luck, obviously, but Chet seals off Pippen earlier in the possession, so no matter what, he's in a fine position to get an offensive rebound. Obviously gets rewarded by a bad miss here for an easy putback. Now that teams are respecting Chet's shot, it creates plays like this, where Edey closes out hard on him. He gets to close out, passes inside. Hartenstein sadly not able to get anything out of disadvantage, but otherwise a good process by Chet. Pretty crazy how good Chet is at the small stuff defensively, being able to get a hand up, not leaving your feet, not exposing your hips so Bane can drive, just force a kick-out pass, completely takes away whatever advantage the Edey screen created. With no other big or roll man in the game like Hartenstein, Chet's getting a lot cleaner looks offensively because now his primary defender's main objective is to take away the rim and usually helping a lot off him on the weak side. Chet gets a wide open free here in the corner. You can kind of see that again here, J-Dub and Chet going to pick and pop. And Jaren's main objective is to stay deep and drop and make sure J-Dub doesn't get to the rim. There's a miscommunication here. Now Chet gets a wide open top of the corner free and he hits another one. This play right here was awesome. Jaren's giving Chet a bit of space, and Chet just straight line drives, adjusts his body mid-air, and hits a left-hand finish. I mean, that's great length, great body control, and great awareness by Chet in that situation. A big issue for Chet lost playoffs was not being able to shoot over these short closeouts when Shea created an advantage. You see right here, Shea draws two defenders, kicks out to Chet, still there's a short closeout, and he confidently shoots it. He's shooting 7.5 3-pointers this series, a huge increase from the 3.5 he took against Dallas last year. Every time the Thunder needed a bucket down the stretch, they went to the Shea Chet pick and pop. This time, unfortunately, they didn't get it, but I love the aggression by Chet here. Gets the ball, hard closeout, puts the ball on the floor, gets a decent mid-range up on a smaller defender. I like this type of aggression and take from him. After a 16-point third quarter, Chet goes to the bench, and now you enter Alex Caruso. The first play that he's in, he doesn't make a play directly on the ball. Kaysen does, but he's the first to the ground, gets the ball, forces a foul, and completes the turnover that Kaysen forced. Side note, look at this double screen they run effectively for Joe. Caruso gets the screen on Pippen, then Hartenstein, wide open free. That's beautiful basketball. The lineup of Kaysen and Caruso has an 89 defensive rating in the playoffs, and reasons like this are why. Kaysen just pressures Pippen, Caruso swipes from behind, and now you create a wide open transition too. Ball pressure wins you playoff games. This is what I mean by ball pressure. I mean, look how uncomfortable Santi Aldama is on this play. Finally gets the screen, probably thinks he has some space, but Caruso comes flying from behind. They get a decent look here. Caruso gets a tip and to secure the rebound. Just what a player. This here is the advantage of playing Chet at the 5. Here, the Thunder can put ball pressure on Jaren Jackson, and their 7-foot center is able to make a closeout to force the ball out of Luke Kennard's hands for a wide open corner free, and this is the shot that Memphis ends up taking. You're defending a pull-up free heavy player in a pick and roll. You want to extend pressure a few feet behind the arc. This is what Chet does here. Make sure that Bane shoots 2 to 3 feet behind. This is what he did to Tatum a lot in the game in Boston. Here again, Chet gets Memphis defense scrambling off a closeout, forces Jaren to jump, gets the ball back, and eventually Kaysen gets a wide open free. Now here, 6'3" Alex Caruso is primarily guarding, is 7-foot, 25-point per game scoring big. Beautiful balance on the closeout, and then eventually swipes, gets the ball off his knee, forces a turnover. I mean, a 6'3" guard should not be able to do that against a 7-foot big. The Thunder need a bucket again, so what do? They go to Shea, Chet, pick and pop. Here, they perfectly get a switch because Contra doesn't want to leave Chet open. Shea gets a switch, wide open mid-range on Edie. So now we're back to it. Alex Caruso guarding Jaren Jackson in the post. Caruso forces him to the middle of the paint. You can see the side he's playing. Now Chet has a perfect contest at the rim. Jaren gets the ball, and Caruso just happens to swipe it. Jumps on the ball, calls timeout. I mean, a 6'2" guard should not be able to dictate a defensive possession just like that. We're back to it. Alex Caruso extending pressure on Jaren Jackson. Edie puts a screen. Now Chet's in action. There's so much length. Contra's making kick-out passes. And the Thunder complete dictating where the ball is going. You remember when I talked about how Memphis is respecting Chet's three-point shot more? I mean, look at this right here. Edie closes out hard. Chet gets a wide-open dunk to the rim. If he ever finds his balance between his drive and shooting, it's going to become really scary really soon. Almost every player this quarter has something good from Chet and Caruso on defense. Here, Chet plays up before he eventually sinks back to the paint. Shea switches. Now Kennard's forcing a kick out and Caruso reads it perfectly, forcing a deflection and a reset. Another play with that Shea, Chet pick and pop. Chet brush screens. Shea gets a switch on Edie. Hits the pull-up three. Again, the little things that Chet does defensively are amazing. And help his timing right here. Bane on a drive. Chet waits until the last second to jump with Bane. Make sure that he's off balance for the pass. Sanjay Aldama shooting a fadeaway free. Another great defensive possession. I still can't believe that Shea missed this, but shout out Caruso for being right there. This is what extended ball pressure really does. It pushes back teams a few feet and makes them shoot shots like this. This is what Boston did a lot because they couldn't feel comfortable playing at the line. Thunder down 3 with 4 minutes. Who else is going to force a turnover outside of Alex Caruso? In Lou Dort fashion, draws an illegal screen. Initially called a defensive foul, but was overturned by a mark challenge. And this is where the game really started to shift. Caruso's really just in his flow state right now. He's messing up everything that Memphis wants to do. Here, they're just doing a simple swing pass, and Caruso gets his hands on it, forces them to reset the possession with 7 seconds left. And this is how you win basketball games. Here, even on the inbound, the Thunder get free deflections. Unfortunately, are not able to crawl the ball. But this just shows the extent of the ball pressure in the second half from the Thunder, and the biggest reason why they were able to make this big push. Down 3 in the biggest possession of the game, Caruso sets a guard screen for Shea. The defense obviously collapsed on the Shea drive, leaving Caruso open. He attacks the closeout here, and now the two biggest players in the second half connect. Chet shoots over his short closeout, bang, tie game, 2 minutes left. Tie game with 2 minutes left, one of the biggest defensive possessions of the season. Caruso matched up with 6'11" Jaren Jackson Jr. He gets in the post, tries to bump at his body, and Caruso, who maybe has the greatest hands ever from a guard, completely strips him away. From there on out, the Thunder control everything. Chet gets the rebound, gets pushed here, eventually gets 2 free throws, which he knocks down. And here we are. The Thunder come back from 29 points down. Still, Memphis has a chance. 1 possession game, 48 seconds left. Pippen has the ball. And are we serious, Alex Caruso? Finishing off one of the greatest defensive quarters I've ever seen with another forced turnover after Edie gets an offensive foul on this jump ball. Alex Caruso finished the second half with 5 points, 4 steals, 1 block, and 3 extra deflections. Chet finished with 23 points in the second half on 8 of 11 shooting and one of the most dominant two-way performances I've seen in the playoffs this year. If you guys like this type of content, let me know. I'm probably going to try to go live Thunder post-game one of these days, just try to interact with some of y'all. If you guys have any constructive criticism, let me know. I appreciate y'all if you're still listening. Thunder up.